So, would you say the relationship between Cosatu and the ruling party is deteriorating as things stand?
No, we would say it's the same as it's always been. There is a great deal that unites us, far more than divides us. We have a common constituency amongst the poor and the workers, and we agree on most policies. But it's always been the case that Cosatu is an independent organisation that takes its mandate from the workers, particularly those at the National Congress every 3 years. And from time to time they will adopt policies which are different from those of the government. And we've always said that in that case we have to express those views and in some cases even mobilise campaigns of action to try to get the workers' view across.
Like e-tolling?
E-tolling is a very good example, which is a policy which we think is totally against the interests of the workers. And
do you still oppose e-tolling?
Absolutely, yes.
It sounds like it's going ahead, though, I think from the beginning of May.
Yes, but we will continue to oppose it. We're urging people not to buy the e-tags, not to register with SANRAL, and we believe ultimately we're going to win this battle because we think it's going to be completely unworkable.
And it can be solved in the tripartite framework as things stand?
We will keep trying. We've tried very hard. I think there are many people amongst the ranks of the ANC who will not be happy with the e-tolling, but we've still got to win that battle.
What about participation at BRICS? Do you feel as Cosatu that you were deliberately excluded as Labour?
Well, we're certainly unhappy, and it's not just Cosatu. The trade unions from all the BRICS countries came together in a trade union forum just before the BRICS conference and expressed a common view that since there was a very large business contingent at BRICS, that Labour is of certainly of equal importance and ought to have been given equal access to the main event.
And yet that is not happening at this moment. Is Cosatu's clout within the tripartite alliance at the moment at a level where perhaps it's weaker than what it normally is?
We wouldn't say so. We think that the workers are still a very powerful and important constituency. And,
but they're not being heard? They're not being taken seriously?
Well, not entirely. It would be quite wrong to think that we've failed to convince the government on anything. The government has many, many policies which are totally in line with our policies. A good example would be the Industrial Policy Action Plan, the Infrastructure Development Programme, and which seek to industrialise the country and create jobs. We totally agree with those, and our only complaint is that we think they should be implemented faster.
Just looking at the leadership situation at the moment, some believe that knives are out for the Secretary General Zwelinzima Mavavi. Is that a correct characterization?
There may be some people who want to do that, but Cosatu's position is quite clear. All 6 national office bearers were elected unanimously and unopposed at the Congress, and therefore it's incumbent upon all Cosatu members to support that leadership, and they do so.
And some are saying perhaps it may have to do with whatever positions he took on the road to Mangaung. Is that correct?
When you say his positions, I don't know who you're referring to.
Zwelinzima Mavavi, the Secretary General.
Zwelinzima Mavavi has always meticulously publicly put forward Cosatu positions, the workers' positions as adopted at the Workers' Parliament at our National Congress. And obviously there will be some people who disagree with those positions, but Cosatu cannot simply abandon policies on which they have a clear mandate from their working class constituency.
As far as the National Development Plan goes, I know you've said that there's some policies where you agree with government and with the ruling party. There's some where there's disagreement, which is the nature of the relationship. Owen Jim with NUMSA has been very vocal against the National Development Plan. What's Cosatu's position?
Cosatu at the moment doesn't have a position. We've opened up a debate, and NUMSA is taking part in that debate, and quite legitimately so. And we hope that all the other unions will do so too, because we think it's very, very important that this document should be thoroughly interrogated. The government keeps telling us how important it is that every other policy is going to be subordinate to the National Development Plan, so we must make sure that that development plan is sound.
Yeah.
And we believe there are some very serious questions to be asked about it,
Okay.
particularly where it would appear to contradict existing government policy.
Isn't that a bit late in the day, though? There was a process, make inputs and those kinds of things. Now it's even been adopted by cabinet. It sounds like it's the country's strategic plan going forward. Isn't it late in the day to be engaging in debate about it at this time?
Well, no, there hasn't really been a public debate. This is why we're trying to initiate one.
Yeah.
It was debated in the National Planning Commission, which is a very closed organisation.
But the public was invited to make inputs.
Yeah, and I'm sure we did. But that doesn't mean to say it's all over and done with.
Yeah.
There are still many outstanding issues in that plan which need to be looked at.
Yeah.
And particularly we have to make sure that the interests of the workers are protected.
Yeah.
And there are certainly some very worrying things in it about the labour market, which we will certainly want to interrogate.
Do you feel vulnerable as Cosatu right now? Are you worried as Cosatu?
Well, the workers are always vulnerable, precisely because they're workers and they're generally poor.
Yeah.
And but we're confident that if we maintain our strong united trade union movement,
Yeah.
we can improve the lives of those workers and the majority of South Africans.
Okay, Patrick, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Patrick Craven is spokesperson for Cosatu, talking to us about Cosatu, the situation and some of the variables that have been in the public domain. You may have some thoughts.